Okay. Yeah. Lady Wolf Pack on a whole nother level. Savage as they come, gang of female rebel. We got the sharpest claws, we got the whitest teeth. We coming for your lunch, but we only bring the heat.
Hey y'all, I'm Cassidy, the favorite daughter, obviously.
And I'm Kim, her mom, her match, and the real reason she turned out halfway decent.
Welcome to Mom's Favorite, the podcast where we laugh, vent, and overshare like it's our full-time job.
Yeah. And we're coming straight to you from Austin, Texas, where the queso's hot, the opinions are hotter, and we don't sugarcoat a damn thing.
You know, just think of us as Thelma and Louise, but only they're related and they have a podcast instead of a death wish.
So go ahead and pour yourself something strong, maybe a margarita, get a little snack.
Because here on Mom's Favorite, we got a lot to unpack.
Hey MFers, it's Cassidy coming to you solo today. And we don't really have an official episode recording to release this week, and so I wanted to chat and share my thoughts that nobody asked for, and so I figured I would just do a little holiday weekend recap moment. So it was just the 4th of July weekend. I hope everybody had a wonderful time. It's hot as balls, so you know you can only have so much fun in 98-degree weather, but I'm sure there was water involved. You almost have to have water involved in this kind of heat. But what did we do? So, Dave, my husband, he had to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday the whole weekend. So because he had to work on, the official holiday weekend, we actually kind of celebrated on Thursday. And so we all went out to the lake house. If anybody doesn't know, my mom and Egon, they have a lake house out in Jonestown on Lake Travis, and it's beautiful. And so we went out there Thursday afternoon. And let me tell you, that was the move. In the future, now we know, because there was nobody out there. It was there was only a handful of boats on the water, and the weather was stunning. It was the perfect lake day, and we just had a great time. So I went up there after work and I met the boys and Dave and Egon and Jake, and they had already been out on the boat for a few hours when I got there. They'd been tubing. And then they came and picked me up on the boat dock. So their lake house has a boat dock. But to get down there, you have to climb down this set of stairs that I call the death stairs. And so, I saw my life flash before my eyes a few times. I was praying that no insect or something jumped out at me, or that the wood didn't break, because it's a very steep set of stairs. It's down the side of a cliff essentially. So I was at any moment I could just go tumbling down this rock cliff. But I survived, and so they came and picked me up, and the boys went tubing again, so I got to watch them, and we just kind of drove around the lake and just looked at all the such the beautiful houses, and it was a really good time. And then we went to eat on this restaurant called Stumpy's, if nobody's been out there, but it's a restaurant on the lake, and you can just park your boat in a little boat parking lot and just walk up there and sit outside on the water with the beautiful views. It was hot, again, hot as balls. They need more fans or something out there, but the view makes up for the heat. It was very nice, very fun. And then after we finished eating, it was about 8:30, and then at 9:15 they were just gonna have fireworks on the lake at Valente Beach. And so we just kind of tooled around and then found a little place in the middle of the lake. It got dark, and we got to watch the fireworks from the lake. And let me tell you, if you've never done that, if you've never watched a fireworks show from a body of water from the lake, I highly recommend. It was super cool. Super super cool. And I was like, damn, my kids are lucky. They get to have these experiences as kids. But we loved it. We had a great time. And like I said, there was, even at the fireworks show, there was like maybe 4 or 5 boats out there watching. I was like, at first I was like, are you sure? Are you sure they're having it today? I had to Google it because I was like, it must not be today because there's nobody here. But they did. And so we lucked out because it was great. And I never like considered this, I guess, but driving a boat or riding a boat, but probably driving is more so a very scary thing at night, because it's not like a car that has headlights. Like, there's not lights on boats, and they don't have street lights in the middle of the lake. They don't have lake lights. And so it was very dark. You could barely see anything. And so I even like pulled up my Google Maps to show where we were, like in the lake. And at one point, like the depth meter was like going up quick, and he was like 8 feet, 4 feet, 2.5 feet. And I was like, you're too close to the edge. But you know, we were fine. I was like, how do people not like run into each other out here? That's why you definitely shouldn't be drinking and boating. But I was gonna mention, you know, it's funny how, and I know I'm not alone. I know this is like probably every, or if not most, mothers or parents really in general. But, you know, when I was younger, I had like no fear. I went water skiing, tubing. I rode carnival rides. I mean, like, I was not scared of nothing. I did any and everything. No fear at all. And then, you know, ever since having kids, you know, they say it's like your brain gets rewired when you become a parent. You know, you're like always on the lookout for threats. And then just like being older, you know you're not invincible. You've had experiences. You've known people that have had experiences. You've lived long enough to hear some stories. And I think probably more so me working in like a children's hospital, I've just heard so many horror stories. And so like it's a little better now that my boys are older and like heftier, and I know that they can like hang on. But when they were younger, going out on the boat with them gave me a lot of anxiety, because my brain likes to do this thing where when I'm in a situation, my brain is like Final Destination up in there. It is like imagining all the worst case scenarios. And so anytime I'm in a boat with my kids, I'm like, well, is this going to be the time where they get thrown out of the boat and chopped up by the propellers? I don't know. Obviously, we were fine. My mom used to get so mad at me. She'd be like, you need to stop being such a worrywart. I'm like, well, yeah, I would love to not be a worrywart. This is not fun for me. But I had a good time. I was still like a little like on edge, but it was great. It was definitely better now that they're older. But what's funny, well, or not funny, I shouldn't say what's funny about that, but you know, Dave knows like my getting chopped up by a propeller fears. And the day after we were out at the lake, he had to work. He works in the ER, and he texted me and said, oh, I just had a patient, a 21-year-old girl whose legs got mangled by the boat propeller. I was like, fucking see? I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. That's terrible. And thankfully it wasn't like as bad as it could be. She didn't lose her legs. She obviously had like some crazy ass scars, but I think it was pretty minimal compared to what it could have been. But I was like, this is what I mean. They were tubing 1 minute, having the time of their life. The next minute, their friend who's driving forgets to turn the boat motor off. Legs get sucked up into the propellers, and now it's the worst day of your life. It's just crazy how fast you can just be living it up 1 minute, and I hate my life the next. So is this real life? But I know I'm not alone in that. I know all pretty much all parents are just like worried about catastrophic events, or maybe it is just me. But it's hard. It's a hard line, because you want your kids to have fun and have experiences, and you don't want to like hold them back just because of your anxieties, right? But on the other hand, you also have to be safe. So just as long as everybody wears a life jacket, because God, guys, the number of drownings there. Did y'all know like 80% of drownings happen during June, July, and August? So I know my ER staff people out there just dread the summertime because there's just so many more accidents, drownings and boat accidents and ATV and trampoline and leaving kids getting left in hot cars, just so many more things. So just everybody be careful and use your brain and just know that you're not invincible. Okay. Yeah. But I hope everybody had a great time. We had a fun weekend. We got to relax. I got Friday off, so we got like a long weekend, and I hope everybody was safe. I hope nobody blew their fingers off with fireworks. Another fear of mine, clearly. We made s'mores at Grammy's. We swam, made s'mores, ate hot dogs. It was like a very quintessential, stereotypical July 4th. But I hope everybody else had a great holiday weekend. And I hope you have a great rest of your summer and be safe. And me and Mom will be back next week, hopefully together. If not together, then one of us will join you with more things to blab about. But I love you all, and I appreciate those who listen and reply and send messages saying how much you enjoy listening to us, even though we feel like we're not anybody special. But it's fun. It's fun. But we will see y'all next week. Be safe out there. Bye, y'all.